Hi folks, in today's video I'll be reviewing the Coven Candle collection from Wicked Warlock. Wicked Warlock reached out and asked if we would review their latest line, which is their Coven Collection. We previously did their, I think it was like the Adventurers bundle, and I will say after having had those other candles and having burned them, I've got one, two, where's the other one? There? Yes, 1, 2, burning in the background. We have really enjoyed those candles, so I can speak a little bit more to the longevity and stuff like that. So yes, when they reached out and asked about reviewing this new Coven collection, it sounded right up our alley. Excuse the little black waggy tail in the background. Ripley is wanting to say hello. Hi! Do you want me to move that box so you can sit in the chair? Up, you can sit. Come on. Ripley, up in the chair. You can sit in the chair. That's fine. Well, you just... both dogs. So yes, I'm going to go over all of the candles and talk about their scents. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about kind of our experience with the other candles, how they have held up. Before I get into the specific candles, a little bit about Wicked Warlock. They make candles primarily inspired for your RPG sessions. So candles that are going to evoke the location, help bring the scent of the locations or elements of the game to your table, so you can kind of have this really immersive experience. First off, starting with Witch's Cottage. So this smells of dry rosemary, dark saffron, earthy amber. This candle has this very herby, welcoming feel to it. It evokes that witch's cottage, but in that idea of okay, this is perhaps an older home, there's a dustiness to the smell, but in that nice, old, lived in, not dirty, dusty, but the cottage that maximalism has all sorts of things on the wall, dried herbs hanging from the ceiling, all of that stuff where it's cluttered, but in a very lived in way. This is what I want my house to smell like all the time. So I think this one might be my favorite of the collection as far as just to have this burning in the background. I think this would be a really great candle if you're looking for candles for your game, for, yes, a witch's cottage, but also just kind of for any of those older lived-in buildings. You could use this for wizards type thing, or even just, you're in a village and maybe even the right kind of dungeon, or a haunted house. This would be a good scent for an old creepy haunted house. Yeah, it the saffron and the rosemary just makes it a really interesting herbal scent. Those are the two notes I think for me that make this unique, and I really like why it smells that way. Next up, we have the Enchanted Grimoire, which smells like dragon's blood, vetiver, tangled roots. This is very earthy, but there's these notes to spice to it. I think specifically that dragon's blood. It evokes you're flipping through an old book in just after a rainstorm. Yeah, yes, perfect for library. You're opening up an old witch's book. But also I think just for kind of any kind of magical, mystical, academic type situation. I could also see this working really well for a palace type situation. I think that dragon's blood adds this wealth kind of feel to it. So yes, I think this one is actually Ryan's. Ryan is a big fan of dragon's blood, so as soon as he saw that, he was like, I think I'm gonna really love this. And yeah, he really enjoys this one. I like this one too. I probably won't be burning it as much because I've found that vetiver sometimes bothers my allergies. So this is probably going to end up at Ryan's work or something like that. but I do still really like it. I just, I think I'm going to have to be careful about like when we're burning it. Next up is Spellbound Kitchen. This smells like pumpkin, gingerbread, smoky patchouli, and spiced amber. This is the candle for your basic witch. This smells like just pumpkin spice latte on crack. It's got that like really heavy cinnamon, gingery, pumpkin spice smell to it. But there is an element, I think it's that like patchouli and amber that kind of is a mid-tone to it that makes it not just a pumpkin spice latte. There's like this spice element there to this. This is such a strong candle too. We actually got sent the initial shipping. It looked like the box in the shipping had gotten dropped. None of the other candles were damaged, but this one was. So Wicked Warlock was kind enough to send a replacement. And I will tell you, when we opened that first package that had this one broken in it, it was just like this wave of pumpkin spice that hit me, which I was not opposed to. It was like late September, so I was all about that pumpkin spice life. This one, I don't know if I would burn this for a game night. Like if I'm playing board games, this might be nice. Like have a little bit more of that cozy vibe. But I just, when I smell this candle, I'm like, I want a cup of coffee. I want a pastry. That's what I want. So perhaps like, hey, if you're doing like an early morning game night, or you're doing like an all day, start with this one, have some pastry and some coffee to get people warmed up, and then you can switch to some of the more like interesting gamey scents. Gamey as in like location-y. Or hey, if you have a like bakery or something like that, this would be a great candle to burn during that part of your session. Next we have Diviner's Well. And this smells of petrichor, pine needles, green musk, and water in the deep woods, which is exactly right. This candle, like, it feels exactly like what it says. It feels like I'm sitting next to a well in a deep woods. It has that, like, pine needle, petrichor, like it's just rained, or that, like, that kind of dampness that really big or old woods have, where even like if it hasn't rained in a few days, it still smells of that like petrichor a little bit. But there's also a like, I don't know, there's like a stone kind of note to it that I feel like gives a really good like well water scent to it, because like water doesn't really have a scent, but some water does, depending on where it is. And yeah, I really picture like sitting in the woods, or like walking through the woods near some body of water, whether it's a well or perhaps there's a specific pond or lake that you're trying to find, a magical spring. Yeah, I could see burning this really well for a fae type location, any kind of woodsy setting that you want to evoke that like woods. There's like, it's not a foreboding smell. It's this very like fresh, and like it feels like adventure could happen, like something could happen around, you know, be hiding behind any kind of tree, and that could be bad or it could be good. Next up we have Nightshade Garden. This smells like blackcurrant, black lavender, and honeysuckle. This one is a very unique one. The like blackcurrant gives it this sour sweetness that in some ways reminds me of some like Yankee Candle scents that I've smelled. But that like lavender and honeysuckle brings it down a little bit. It's not too sweet. It's not sickeningly sweet. There's like a sour element. You get that like black currant kind of up front, and then it lingers into a like the honeysuckle and lavender kind of linger there. So like it feels like, hey, I'm in the garden, I'm picking fresh berries, and there's all of these herbs around me that I'm kind of like brushing up against and releasing there. odor into the wind. I don't know where exactly I would use this in game. Like a garden, it says like nightshade garden. I don't really get like as much of night vibes from this. Maybe like dusky vibes. And I could also see it working in like kind of a town setting. Yeah, like this smells really nice. I really like the smell of this. I don't know the application I would give it in game quite as much as some of the other ones. A big thanks to all of our patrons, especially Tabletop Unglued. If you enjoy our videos and want to directly support us, head on over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and check out the perks of being a patron. All right, and these last two are exclusive scents if you get the Coven bundle. The other four you can get individually, but these ones are only with the Coven bundle, and that is the Lunar Altar. And this smells like black raspberry, black cypress, and sandalwood. This is another layered one. I think it's that like black raspberry you get kind of up front, like the black currant. And then you get the like black cypress and sandalwood that it has this like more woodsy, homey vibe. Like it feels a little bit more interior and less exterior. To me, there is an evening night element, which I feel like Lunar Altar is very good. Like this feels like maybe you're doing something at night, or could even be like creeping through the woods with where there's these like wild raspberries growing around you, and this moonlight is shining down upon you as you are off seeking your adventure. And last we have Coven's Hollow, and this smells like smoked woods, brown leaves, and earthy clove. This is smoky and earthy, but not in a like tavern wood smoke earthy element. This feels like sitting around a bonfire outside, or even if it's like an interior fire, it is that like fire on the hearth and you're in like this house that has all of these herbs or natural elements in it, or it's a little cottage that's surrounded by woods where that like wood smoky pine earthy like leaves on the ground just seeps into the house. This makes me think of feeling like I can envision and kind of feel like walking on that like soft moss, leafy ground of a forest while like holding a torch or approaching a like fire that has these like dancing embers to it. I really like this one. It's a unique, smoky scent without it just being that like it's a burning fire smell. Like there is this woodsy element to it that I think is really great and unique. Okay, so there you go. Those are the 7 scents that are available in the Coven bundle. So all of these are 8-ounce candles. They have approximately a 40-hour burn window, and we've found that lines up pretty well. Some of the scents, depending on the like exact scent, like I know the like I think it's Vetravir, and the more like woody scented ones seem to burn a little bit faster. I think that's just based on the oils that are used. And these are a soy coconut blend of the wax. Now that's done so that it's a clean burn. There's not the paraffins, but the adding in that coconut apparently helps to like disperse the scent a little bit better. And I will say these scent the room very well. It's like very clear when you first light the candle, it's like whoosh, scent. But then you can smell it throughout the room. It does spread and disperse, and it doesn't come across as overwhelming. Even some of these stronger scents I've found, once it kind of burns for a little bit, it just provides the atmosphere. It doesn't feel quite as much like, oh, there's a candle burning. Now the Coven, which is Spellbound Kitchen, I think is the only one that I would say like this is going to smell like you have a candle burning, because it has such that like pumpkin spice sweet feel. It's a little less atmospheric than the other ones. They feature a crackling wood wick. Now you do need to trim these wicks. We found in our previous video that they would definitely go out if you did not trim them. I've found after burning them for a while that it's actually not that hard to trim them. I don't even have to usually get a pair of scissors to trim the wicks, which is good because trying to get a pair of scissors down in there would be a bit difficult. Like, I just kind of break off the top bit and it burns just fine. And the wood wicks do create a nice crackling effect, but it is a pretty significant crackling effect, which I like. It's not, I have another candle that is a crackling wick that for me is a little too subtle, where if I'm sitting there and I'm reading a book right next to it, I'm like, this is a nice crackling wick. But if I just light it and walk away, it's soft enough that it's like, what is that sound? Whereas this is like, oh, okay, I have one of those candles burning. Everything's fine. It provides this nice, almost a white noise level sound. The bamboo lids have been laser etched, and all of the artwork on the candles was created by an artist, the same artist who did their other candles. It's not AI art. While the wicks are trimmed by hand, the candles are not hand poured. This is to get a more consistent pour than necessarily hand pouring could be. So if you're looking for a hand poured candle, these aren't it, but they have a lot of other benefits to them. I like the glow that is kind of achieved with this amber glass. I think these candles are great for in-game, but also just, they have a really great fall vibe to them, fall winter vibe. Or if you have somebody, a witchy person in your life, I think these would make a really nice gift for them, because who doesn't want their house to smell nice and wonderful and like a cozy witch's cottage? I certainly would love that. If you're interested in picking up the bundle or the individual candles, I will make sure that all of the information for the website and all of that is listed below and on screen. And yes, thank you to Wicked Warlock for sending us these candles and scenting our home for the next several months. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please make sure that you're subscribed and give the video a like. And I'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye! And hey, if you want to see more of my face talking about knitting stuff, go follow my other channel.